thought it was all over.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody of every single identity, welcome to Nebraska Esports Collegiate Rivals Fight Night Week 4, I believe it is. I'm here with my absolutely amazing co-caster, Coach Ferret.
Yeah, and I'm here with Clone.
Wow, just no compliments, kid. I see how it is. I see how it is.
No, it should be great. Should be great.
Yeah, we took a bit of a hiatus, but we're back, and we're getting straight into pick ban. So I guess, Noah, do you have any intel, I guess, on these teams? Any info that you can kind of give the crowd?
So as far as PSU goes, we've played them quite a bit in scrims and official matches. So they run res comp sometimes. A lot of Hulk from deck, a lot of Magneto, if it's not banned every game, which it usually is. But as far as Long Beach goes, I have never seen them play and never played against them. So it should all be kind of new to me if they're not following the meta.
Yeah, I saw some different ranks in there. So I'm interested to see, kind of how they've gone about approaching maybe that challenge that comes with maybe some different skill levels in a team. We are in collegiate esports. That's kind of a thing that happens. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad team, though, because they can work around it. It's just kind of, how have they figured out over this summer? And I mean, they're a new face in Fight Night, so I'm excited to see kind of how they play.
Yeah, it's interesting right away. You see the difference in pick bans between these two teams. The Magneto Emma 1-2 is pretty standard. If one doesn't get saved, you almost never see that because one of the two will be used on the first save. But it just tells me that it looks like Crispy is a very heavily reliant on the Invis woman, so they want to make sure that's locked in. Yeah, super standard from PSU on these first three.
Yeah, this is very, very standard from what we've seen in prior pick bans and Fight Night, and kind of going to pro. It's pretty standard for that too for Ignite so far. So I'm very interested to see. The only thing that's really interesting to me is like the CSULB banned Ultron off rip.
That's not something you usually see early on because it's not a champion. You're going to see people save in that first protection slot, or honestly, usually in the second protection slot. It's usually a champ. It's like if we get it, we'll play it. If not, we'll just let it ride. Mr. Fantastic ban comes through though, so I'm going to guess that is a pretty heavy target ban because that's not exactly a meta pick. You see the Emma was taken away by Long Beach. That's usually what ends up happening is Mag gets saved, Emma's banned, or Emma gets saved and Mag's banned. So you can see the trade there. But with the Punisher save from PSU, what they're trying to do is they know the other team can't play Mag, so they don't have that instant shutdown for Punisher ult. And then the Punisher save means that we're now in a really strong spot to just set up these combos and team fights.
Yeah, and Punisher gets ult insanely fast, so that's going to be something to watch out for on the side of Long Beach.
Yeah, and Loki's still up. Maybe a Luna save here from the side of Long Beach. They're hovering Strange, but I don't think that's going to get hit with a ban. They do decide to save the Strange, so I guess they're a little bit worried about maybe getting targeted. I would like to see a Loki ban here from PSU just to make sure they don't get those two S tier supports. And kind of that 24 seconds of invincibility is a massive life save in these team fights.
Yeah, Penn State's thinking about it. They're definitely looking at options.
Hella interesting. It tells me they maybe want to run flyers. So maybe maybe a Iron Man, maybe a Storm. Jeff NATO is up. PSU has brought that out a couple of times. I really don't expect to see it. It's kind of hit or miss in which teams play it in Ignite and Pro, and obviously got hit with a nerf in the most recent patch. But it's still viable. We'll have to see if they decide to go for it, but you see the Iron Man hover already.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did hear about the Jeff NATO not ban, but nerf, which is unfortunate. That was a very funny combo to see going around.
Funny is one word you could use for it, for sure.
Funny in multiple ways, I think is the way to put it.
Yeah, you can see PSU kind of lining up a pretty standard comp. Normally, so Venom, I don't know if he's going to stay on it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's something we see a lot of in Asia play in Ignite, but not a lot in NA and EU, with a few select maps excluded. But it looks like they're chilling on the Strange Magneto, maybe going for an early Portal play.
Early Portal would be kind of a huge playoff rip here.
One thing you'll see a lot of teams do with Punisher is they will take the Strange Portal and they'll actually just drop it right above a support or a squishy DPS, and then try and blow them up with the Punisher turret in spawn. See, the Fang is going to roll out with Long Beach. Not something you usually see. It's generally considered a lower tier tank, especially with all these flyers. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. You can see the turret getting set up for this.
Yep. You read this like a book.
And they have no idea it's coming. They're not really watching for it. They're just trying to scout.
Yeah.
Portal opens up behind, doesn't blow up as support. They both have two DPS, no supports, but I think that's all they need. This fight's probably over before it even starts now. You can see Loki on 1 HP gets taken down by Prideful. Strange is trying to do something in the backline, but half HP on his own and is just gonna fall. And then probably take their time killing Fang. Yeah, that's just a quick wipe.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that gives Penn State a really easy beginning to this. Just get a free cap. That's, I mean, obviously from CSULB, I mean, I don't know how you really like prepare for that if you're not going to read it off rip.
Yeah, it's pretty much just being essentially watching for it. If you know it's coming, it's easier to have a cooldown that's just ready to burn right when it comes out. But if you're not ready for it, you will just immediately lose members. They're actually going to portal in. They don't want to try and walk, so the early portal is burned. You can see Punisher just trying to get damage down through it while Strange walks out, but he's pretty alone here. He's going to turn the corner, doesn't have his team with him. Just trying to create a little bit of space. They're all out of the portal now. But you see the point's just uncontested, so this is just free charge for PSU. Trying to have the backup as well as Fang, both being very low. Back when Pulse comes out and hits 2, that's going to be a double kill for the side of Prideful, and now PSU can just walk on him.
Oh, wow.
You heard the Pulse come through. As soon as those kills come, it's just free reign.
Yeah, Mashy's the last one alive for Long Beach. Maybe trying to back is just going to get stagger killed. It's a very unfortunate. Now CSULB has to completely reset, and that takes even more time. We're at the 50% mark for Penn State with really no contest on time.
Yeah, I don't really... The Spider-Man swap is interesting. I guess they want to just try and see if they can get around the choke point with a pick, but I don't know who you're really even jumping on here. I mean, you can try and jump on Prideful as the Iron Man, but he has so much protection. It's such a hard game for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Where you have so much going on the way of Penn State, it's going to be super difficult to get that going. Wow. Yeah.
You can see they're just walking to the meat grinder Punisher turret. They don't really have a comp that allows them to walk through this choke point. They have the Strange and the Thing as kind of like this beefy front line, but into this just massive damage meat grinder of PSU, it's so hard to turn this corner, and they're learning that firsthand because they don't have a lot of damage to throw back.
Yeah, there's just not a lot going on. It's hard to get in here, and when you do, it's... Well, they do contest.
Yeah, you see this early support drop, but they have Luna ult, so they can stall it. Loki is going to be really far, though, and not going to be able to follow up with another Luna ult. You see Punisher just kind of putting damage. They do actually give up the point, which is a little bit of a misplay. The Clover ult is going to come out to match with Luna. It should last a little bit longer, and both teams just kind of posturing here. Down to support on the side of Long Beach, and then now everyone's dead. The Clobber comes through, does not fully connect, and you can see just how fast. Oh, actually, Big Spider-Man ult's gonna take down 2. It's maybe still winnable for Long Beach now. Goes down. Loki can maybe get an ultimate out of support and stall. He's gonna get the Cloak and Dagger and just have to ult on the point. This is gonna be a decent stall, but there is a maximum pull. The probably gonna hit. There. Oh, yeah. Thing is going to make it to point, though, with the Luna behind him, so they can maybe do a little bit of something. You see, Bucky goes in first, though, and goes down. Spider-Man just stalling for as long as possible. It's a really hard fight, but they can maybe make it work. You see Spider-Man on this Cloak and Dagger is immediately going to fall, as well as the Doctor Strange, and it's going to be a quick round 1 for the side of PSU.
Yeah, that was great effort, I think, at the end there to delay and try to find an opening to get maybe back into it. And honestly, misplay from Penn State allowed that to happen. But you got to change it up on the comp, I think. You got to find something, or, you know, Thing maybe had a chance to touch 2. And if he's in a little bit more of the play instead of jumping around the corner in the back, maybe you have a little bit more to work with. But
I think Imerk has a really, really hard job on this Spider-Man. Yeah. It's just not exactly a composition you can play into, as well as not really having any support from your team. You have the Thing that can jump in with you, but then he probably just dies. Because it looks like it's pretty much a full comp change. We have the Bucky Strange holding on with their ults. but then we have the Cloak and Dagger and Invis swap instead of the Loki Luna that was being ran, and then followed up with the Punisher now. So I think we have that core 3 staying the same, but I think this is a much better comp. But their ult economy is rough.
It is definitely at a disadvantage going into this. It is 2-4, and there's nothing even close.
See if this portal play works again. There's no turret set up this time, so I don't think they're going to be doing the same thing. Oh, maybe they are. Yeah, they're looking for it.
They're definitely looking for it.
They're splitting the fight in half. It's going to happen now. Looking to immediately blow someone up. They don't get the quick kill this time, so it's now a little bit of an awkward spot for them because they're really jumping in the middle of the fight. I want to know it's cancel go with death and 2 kills, but trades back on the dex wheel. It's a 1-body advantage for the side of PSU. He's looking to trade damage. There's a couple ultimates available. You see that Wolf Q taking down his opposing Punisher, and then the Judge Jury Executioner just walk out. If he gets pocketed, he should be able to go, oh no, the portal disappeared. So that's a waste of the Judge Jury, and actually everyone on PSU pretty much is stuck in their spawn. That's going to be free cap for Long Beach. That is a really unfortunate misplay, just not counting the portal timer. See Prideful getting really low now as well, is able to get the health pack. But that's a pretty big blunder from the side of PSU, not only losing an ultimate, but also losing the point.
Yeah, that's huge for Long Beach, though. I mean, it gets them back into this, and it gives them room to fight, and they're able to stay alive. They're not really in too much risk right now.
Yeah, it's still
Penn State's just getting you.
It's still a massive ult advantage for Penn State, so they just need to look to take a little bit of space here. They have 4 ultimates to 0, so as soon as they'll start ripping, it's going to get very scary. Quickly, Prideful's going to take down Bucky, and it looks like 1 HP on the Punisher does get sniped by Magma Bacon. That's a great name. And now 2-body advantage for PSU. They're just going to jump in and look to clean these kills up. The Cloak and Dagger is looking to stall. Magneto ultimate is pretty much the counter to Cloak ult, but is not going to connect. Really good dodge there going into the stasis. Co-op time is responded though. You see 40% for Long Beach now. This is a really good. Eye of Agamotto comes out, hits a lot, but is responded to by the ultimate of Invisible, but it doesn't matter because Prideful has a 1-shot ultimate through 3 people on their team.
You know, I don't even know what Long Beach could have done there. It was just ult advantage for Penn State going into that, even if they were late to the point. It's just something that, I mean, you got great time out of it if you're Long Beach. That's commendable time.
They're going for the portal play here right behind them. This could be a quick kill onto a support. One important thing to know is they burned 4 ultimates on PSU and only 1 on Long Beach, so it is actually going to be an ult economy advantage for them eventually, but Strange is going to jump in and just die. You have to be really careful when jumping out a portal like that. And now it's really hard for them to walk through here. It's probably just a loss of portal. You can see Banner now going into small form. He's just baby, and he's just stuck in spawn. Nope, and Mashi dies as well.
That's so unfortunate. I don't know if I like that play out of, is that Corn Monk?
Corn Monk, indeed. I think in theory it's good. However, now the ultimates have been stacked back up on PSU to where you have an ultimate disadvantage again. You have a lot coming up though. If you can just stall for these 4 ultimates you almost have, you can just have a big blowout team fight where you'll win, but you do need to be careful about not blowing all 6 of them.
Oh yeah. I think
actually that might be baby ultimate for whole. Yeah, he was actually in baby form, so I was just counting that.
Well, still 60%, not bad. Yeah, you just don't want to melt all these at the same time.
Yeah, quickly responded with the Invis, so he can shoot from the mist. You see Dexter getting very low, and the ultimate is going to go down 2 people. As against the world comes out a little late, so Judgery comes up as well, try and respond. You see people dropping on both sides. It's now a 1-body advantage, 0-body advantage, even now. Ult goes into baby, really good Punisher ultimate from the side of PSU. Gonna take down 3, and it was looking really good for Long Beach there with the Punisher getting 2 kills, but the ultimate from Wolfkey was just better.
Yeah, he has. I mean, you saw how quickly he was snapping between everybody. I mean, now we're just seeing everybody.
The pulse misses, but the mag ult does dunk on them. Another ult response from Cloak and Dagger. I don't see a way they can clean this up. You see Penny just trying to get there in time to touch. So it was a really good attempt there from Long Beach. They almost turned that around. It was just Wolf Q was a little bit better pocketed on the Punisher.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it came down to the ults that were used, and I mean, he saw a better opportunity, had more ability to hit the shots, I think, in that. Just because Long Beach opened themselves up a lot more when jumping onto point.
Yeah, one thing about, we saw it was a try of an attempt to combo the Punisher ult with a support ult in a more aggressive way, but because it didn't work out, when you do that combo, it needs to be a massive wipe, and because it didn't fully work out, they now had the Punisher ult coming through from Wolf Q with a heavy pocket and no response, so just a quick, easy wipe onto ult on both tanks.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it wasn't as bad, considering the ranks of Long Beach. That's actually a commendable effort.
Yeah, and this was, have to keep in mind, this was PSU's pick. So Long Beach is going to be able to get on a little bit more comfortable map here. I'm curious to see, it kind of tells a lot about what kind of competitions they want to run based on what map they pick here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where we're going on this next map.
So we are just waiting. It is going to be a convoy map. If you haven't seen before, the pattern goes domination, convoy, hybrid, and then back to domination if there's more, and it kind of cycles through that.
Mm-hmm. And taking a second to look at these stats here, the damage output on the side of Penn State is just drastically higher. Looking at this here, yeah, I mean it's that's really, I think, the difference in this, because the supports on the side of Long Beach are actually doing a lot of work. It's just the difference between, I think, the duelists on this one.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a compositional difference too. You saw there was a Spider-Man ran for most of the game, and I can't remember I think Punisher was in the whole game. No, Bucky came through at the end. So it was a Spider-Man Bucky. So when you're playing against Punisher Iron Man the entire game, naturally there's going to be so much more damage thrown your way, and you have to be kind of on your game to deal with it, or else they will just kind of out sustain you.
Yeah, I mean, the effort that Long Beach put was huge, and it definitely doesn't. I feel like it was more than what the stats maybe reflected, but end of the day, I think they were maybe caught off guard by the play that Penn State did off rip in the first round, and came back in the second one and had a little bit better time.
And we're actually getting a Rocco. I'm not sure how to say this map, but the new one, the Ultron map. And I actually really like this as a pick for Long Beach. This is a map that, because we're in summer season, most teams are not screaming very much. So I'm willing to bet that PSU does not have a lot of practice on this map. You can say, hey, we got a little bit checked last map. Let's go somewhere where we might be more comfortable than them, or they might be uncomfortable, and try and see if we can work something out with that. I think that's a really smart idea. And it looks like both teams are getting ready to get into pick ban here.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what maybe changes and how Long Beach tries to maybe get some things away from Penn State that they were seeing that was working a little bit too well. Maybe try to get rid of Punisher. Maybe try to get rid of Iron Man.
I think you definitely don't first ban Ultron.
No.
It's not something that, if they first save Ultron, it's actually good for you, because then you can remove both of the S-tier tanks. You saw that's exactly what happened to Long Beach. In that first game, they did not have access to the premier tanks of the season, and it was so much harder to just take and hold space. So immediately into pick bans here. If you don't know, this is advanced bans, meaning you only ban for the other team and only save for yourself, as opposed to banning for the whole lobby. So it's an interesting system that's primarily being used in Ignite. And the Iron Man ban hover, I don't like that. It's gonna be the Ultron.
The Ultron ban again? I'm not sure. Are they scarred from like a scrim or something from?
Yeah, I think they just have a lot of. It is a solid champion, right? And it is very good on this map. The thing about Ultron is, in the hands of a very good player, it's going to be an Iron Man hover. I think Punisher or Emma, but I think that if you don't ban Emma here, you're putting yourself in a really hard position. Oh. It is going to be Punisher. I think you could have saved that, because you are going to get another ban before another protect. So you need to save Emma for yourself here, and then you need to kind of hope, because now if you don't save Emma here, then that's going to be banned away from you again. You see they decided to do that instead of the invis, but that's going to be both premier tanks going over to the side of, actually there will be one more ban. So actually I don't think they'll lose Emma. They should lose Emma. Sorry, sometimes these bans confuse me still.
Yeah, the pattern can be a little bit hard to remember personally, but it's good that they did end up getting a protect on Emma.
It does cost them the invis, which they did kind of show their hand that they really do want to play by an early protect. That's kind of one thing you risk when you early protect these sort of on the fringe of the meta champions. It kind of tells people, hey, I want to play this for the rest of the series. So then once you do that protection once, you have to keep doing it or you're going to lose it. It's something we see a lot with like Rutgers Star-Lord. They have to protect that first or they're going to lose it now because it's something that people know that they want to ban it away from them. It's kind of the same concept.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they maybe try to protect here.
They didn't ban Emma.
Strange.
Strange protect, yeah. I mean, I think especially if you're wanting to play Strange, I think you just need to drop the Emma. It's one of his hardest counters. But I would be surprised not to see PSU last save the Emma, and if they don't, I would be surprised not to see it get banned. But I've been wrong before, so we will see. Wolverine makes me think maybe Groot.
Yeah, I can see Groot coming through here. Yep.
So yeah, they wanted to go for that. And the biggest thing too is Magneto is gone and Invis is gone. So even if that Wolverine did come through, it's a lot harder to play. So maybe not fully worth the ban, but if they want to open out with this Groot, I can see why you get rid of it.
Yeah.
They're going to ban either Luna or Loki. It looks like you either have to give them both S tier tanks or both S tier supports. Looks like they're going to go with the both S tier tanks.
Honestly, given the way of the options, I think that's fair on the side of Long Beach. Getting rid of the, hey, you don't die for X amount of time, that's fair.
Yeah, and it is going to be an opening with the Groot, more than likely. So they thought, like, hey, you're not going to open on the Emma. But, however, it is going to be a little bit scary that they just have the option to swap to. And maybe it actually looks like they're going to go on Emma instead of Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting... I think we're going to see some adjustments on this. We're probably going to see some changes, right? Like, I don't think...
I think they roll out with this. I think this is the comp.
Okay. Okay.
They're on defense. They can't just stay and spawn and wait. This is probably what they're running.
True. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So you see, you have Psylocke for the team up. Psylocke is still pretty strong even after the nerfs, to the point where it does get banned in Ignite and Pro Play. It's a little bit of a weird comp. So the theory is Moon Knight's always going to have ultimate up, and Groot's going to have ultimate up quite a bit, and that combo will kill through pretty much anything in the game, especially if your supports aren't really much on their game. I don't love it because the champions themselves are just not as good, but I can see the theory behind it.
Yeah.
Dude, holding this top side, oh, sorry, you go.
No, I think honestly, really depends on this first fight, how things are going to go. If Penn State can break out of this, it might just start being a roller coaster for them, where they just get to carry on the rest of the map.
And you can see the way this map kind of works. Actually, there's a kill back from the side of PSU. You saw one early kill from Long Beach, but it was immediately traded back, and then Prideful just kind of getting another kill onto the Strange, and the high ground that they conceded, and Prideful just running people down. You saw that Long Beach were trying to hold that top left high ground. If you're able to maintain that, it's really hard to push into. Oh, the Moon Knight all comes out already. Told you it's always up, and that's going to be 4 kills for Prideful on the Moon Knight this fight. That is absolutely insane. And I wasn't going to talk about holding the high ground, but it doesn't matter because this point's already gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's already full reset. You're basically giving it up. The Groot wall is on the door.
They might be able to make it for the contest. Strange is trying, but I don't think he's going to get there in time. The point, yep, he's going to make it to the point right afterward. Hella dies as well, so it's just a 5v6 now. Now it's a 3v6, and they're just getting ran down by this damage on PSU. It's a relatively hard comp to play into if you aren't experienced as a team, and I believe that Long Beach is a relatively new team, to where there's a lot of damage coming from all sides. He's just going to get ran down here. There's not a lot you can do at this point with 3 down, but this is a comp where you have the Psylocke coming from a lot of different sides, and you have the constant pressure from the Moon Knight. So if your supports aren't kind of used to this amount of just pressure being exerted onto them, it can be really hard to allow your tanks to walk up, and it's kind of what we're seeing here.
I mean, yeah, this is a bulldozer of a comp onto Long Beach.
And it looks like our stream has frozen for us, so we don't actually have the visual on our end. Well, what do you think's going on in the game right now?
You know, I have broadcast pulled up, and it looks like things have kind of stalled out on the side of, it looks like Penn State, where they're kind of stalled out on the ramp right now.
Yeah, I don't know how delayed the stream is, but we'll cast from behind. It looks like another stream has come through for us, potentially.
Indeed. So we will switch over to that for now. Okay, it does look like it made the second point.
Alright,
Switch. Okay, so yeah, stream is a little bit behind, but not by much.
Yeah, I don't have a stream on Discord to watch, so I'm just gonna look off of the Twitch chat here. You can see it is Grudok came out to look. You said second point was captured, because I do not see that yet.
We are past the second point right now.
Yes, past second point. All right.
Yeah, we are working our way toward the third.
All right, you might have to take over here because I do not have any visual.
So, yeah, I mean, Penn State's really just pushing it down. They're underneath, so they're on the underpass right now, and I mean, Long Beach is just giving up ground. They're just conceding and conceding. Group's basically putting up walls, and Long Beach is forced to kind of keep on backing up.
Again, it looks like we are back to live on mine. Okay, cool. I can see now. You saw like Grudok just come out and responded with by Rocket. Hello Leash comes out just trying to dump down some damage. You can see Groot is trying to get walls and get his team out with this. It looks like Moon Knight does fall shortly after. Groot just looking for a little bit of angle. Hello gets another kill, so this should be a one fight for Long Beach, but there's still 4 minutes left for the side of PSU.
I mean, yeah, I think there's that side of it, but I do think this is an important moment for Long Beach to say, like, we can win a fight here. We can win. And I'm currently on, I don't know, yeah.
Sorry, our visual's getting a little bit weird here, but we are back. Okay, you see Psylocke just looking for an angle. Grudok hits onto 2, and Psylocke immediately goes, it's the Khonshu team up as well. So a lot of people going down. Is Rez on the Bucky, but quickly 3 more players fall, and this should just be the round for PSU. You can see Armed and Dangerous comes out, gets a little bit of damage down. Hella's stuck in the back now on half HP. I think they're the last remaining member though. Quick death, and I don't think they'll be able to get a touch.
It would be, it'd be pretty miraculous if they could. I think right now, just because
Yeah, Psylocke comes out, and the Cloak is well to stabilize. So this might actually be a winnable fight for the side of Long Beach. You can see Neil Peasant comes out. That is the silent seduction from Emma. Just trying to find, but it's completely blocked by the Strange. However, Moon Knight does find the Hella as a couple of walks come to its end. Ivan Low comes out, hits onto nobody, but is responded with by the Rocket. You see the Magic is out now as well, just looking for picks. Very hectic fight. The Strange is going to fall, so is Cloak, so is Magic, and that's going to be round for PSU.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, that was just a march, a parade around all the way down, and it was barely stopped.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Yeah, they were able to make it through, just barely. Sorry, I'm a little bit discombobulated trying to get everything set up with the stream, but we are good now, I think. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I believe we're chilling now.
All right, we are chilling.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are the comps? We have a Luna and Cloak covered for Long Beach. The Magic looks like it's going to stay out. Not a champion you typically see in this season, in this meta. However, it looks like they are Lord on the champion, so it's definitely a comfort champion for Mashi.
Yeah, honestly, that might be what they need right now. It's just a little bit more comfort play, like with what's available. Something to get a little bit better, because sometimes, I mean, the comfort play can be better than maybe the meta if you're just that much better at it.
Yeah, and looking at the side of PSU Blue, they're changing nothing. I honestly think their comp is a little bit more suited for defense. So I like what they're setting up since it was working so well last half. I don't really know how Magic gets on the back line here.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see, staying on the Hella, just looking to get some kills from Spawn. Get rid of some of those Loki clones.
Good medicine.
They're gonna try and try and contest this high ground on the right side. This is what you saw PSU do, and they immediately took it from them. So we'll see if Long Beach is able to do something similar. You can see WolfQ just looking at this, maybe take an angle on this right side, but quickly both tanks go, one tank and the Magic go down to the side of Long Beach. Emma's half HP as well, gonna use the dash to get out, but probably not long for this world themselves. Just barely hanging out with a little bit of HP, is able to escape. That's 2 quick kills to the side of PSU, and this is gonna be really hard for Long Beach now.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Yeah, I mean, that first fight is really important just to get momentum going, but now it's going to be a bit more grueling to get through this. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a quick walk down. You see the Strange goes down immediately. There's not really any more front line for Long Beach, and immediately PSU are going to pounce on that. As well as a lot of ultimates coming up now.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to. I mean, if you're Long Beach, you've got to keep banging your head into this until you can see a crack and start to chip your way through.
Yeah, you see Green getting a little bit low. The silent ball comes out. Us Against the World comes out for Long Beach, but Luna's just not in it. She's too far separated. You can see a lot of ultimates flying, but it is a body advantage for PSU. And just a lot of low health bars. No one should die for a minute here because the Green connects onto a blind as well. The Moon Knight. That's going to make me eat my words, as I said, about everything in the game. And Cornmonk going to go down as well. Valiant name, but is not long for the world.
Yeah. I mean, 2 minutes. You got a lot of time to set something up, and Penn State did use 2 ults there. If not 3. I think it was 2, though.
I believe it was 3. They used Moon Knight, Loki, and Groot. You see a couple of ultimates coming up for the side of Long Beach, but there is a response. Hellblade's very early pop. You want to try and get this early damage out and get them out of that corner, but it's blocked by Emma and then immediately burned. You have to be really careful because it's such an easy ultimate to burn, as well as Strange getting low, forcing out the Emma ult, as well as the Luna ult. And you can see Us Against the World coming out, so no one should die for a minute here with a lot of support ults down. But really, this is just good for PSU as they're holding space. Ion Luna comes out, is blocked for the Emma, but does connect on the 2. Not able to get the fall damage though because of the cloak ult. You want to be a little bit more patient on that. Very low HP. Is the Strange going to get grabbed and maybe burned down, walled off from his team? Hanging in there for quite a while, so he's actually going to stay up, but there is a body advantage for PSU. Emma ult comes out for Long Beach, just looking to try and grab anyone. Mooney on the flank though. Mooney on the flank is going to get 3 people and the ultimate. Really good save from Cloak using the Cloak. And then, but unfortunately, the DPS on the side of PSU do still kill 3.
Only 60 seconds left.
That was actually a really commendable fight from Long Beach. I'm just gonna say it. It was actually, they had a really good shot at getting past this first bottleneck. But the flank from Moon Knight was, I think, really just the thorn in their side that stopped it.
And you just have to be careful of stacking into this Groot ult. They do have Cloak ult, but they're able to go through an early Psylocke ult going to come out, and Cloak ult comes through in response. Psylocke doesn't kill anyone, but she forces out the Cloak ult, and he actually kills the Hello, who's really far separated from the team. So now, as soon as this Cloak ult is gone, Groot is just going to look to hit an ultimate on and clean up the team. So you can see him just playing a little bit patient here. Moon Knight also farming up ultimate very quick. Weird Groot comes out, hits onto 2. They're trying to burn them out because there's no ultimates. Mashy goes down quickly, and then it's followed by Monk and Lunatic Boy. And that's probably going to be the round, or that's probably going to be the game, actually.
Yeah, that is definitely the map. I mean, there's 8 seconds here. They have to make a run for it, a mad dash to even touch.
They can maybe touch a Bucky ult, but he just dies immediately if he does it. Yeah, it's over. You can see a little bit of close fights at the beginning of that point. A couple times they had ultimate fights that went on for pretty long and were able to get a pick or 2. But in the end, PSU was just much better at stabilizing these fights and honestly just using their ult economy.
Yeah, I mean, that really is just what it came down to is... Penn State just had more ults to work with for the most part, and there was just so much that Long Beach had to try to persevere through, and I don't know what better they could have done.
And this is kind of just growing pains, right? This is their first time in Fight Night. This is the first time seeing... There's kind of been a meta that's developed inside of these Fight Night games where the first ban Magneto into Emma save. That's pretty much every single team has done that in finals for the last however many weeks we've done this. Us as Nebraska started doing it. Immediately teams started following suit because we took it from Ignite. And that's kind of just been the meta for this. And you can see they want to do their own thing with the early Ultron ban, but I just don't think that giving these consistent S tier picks to PSU makes your life any easier.
Yeah, I think that's something you just have to start getting rid of is that first ban. And we're going to look at the stats real quick. Prideful with 20k damage and 15 final hits. He did a lot of work there. 36 of limbs. You have, I mean, yeah, just across the board, tons of damage output. And
Moon Knight's just known for farming damage on these champions, and it feels good seeing your numbers at the end, especially when there actually is final hits to go with it. That's a rare sight on Moon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those ults that he had were just like these huge ults that came from flanks, or I mean, literally at the end there, he was able to stop the only real close fight that Long Beach had, and he had 3 in there. I think he got 2 of them.
Yeah, and it looks like Central Park is going to be the pick. So that is, and it looks like they may be swapping out a player for PSU. I'm not entirely sure yet. It's just someone spectate. But it looks like Central Park is going to be the pick, a map that is notorious for first point holds on defense. And PSU does get side select, so I'd be a little bit shocked if they didn't choose to start on defense here.
Yeah, this one I'd be a little shocked too, because especially if it's first point. We just saw them, lock down on a first point. I don't think they would really want to say, let's not do that again.
And I believe, actually, it looks like I was wrong about the map. I thought I saw Central Park, but it looks like it is actually going to be Hall of the Jala. Don't know where I saw Central Park come in there, but it looks like there is one swap out as well. Servos, I believe is how you would say that, is subbing in for the side of CSULB.
Yeah, and I don't, forgive me, I don't recall what rank he's subbing out for or anything like that, but I think it's fair to maybe make a roster change, go, all right, let's give, we're down, we may as well try a different makeup of a team, see what's going on there.
Yeah, this might be what they need for the reverse sweep. We've seen it before. We've seen, I believe we've seen 2 reverse sweeps in Fight Night so far. I'm not entirely sure.
I think you're right. I think it is 2.
I know finals has almost always gone to 5 games, but I think only 1 finals were a reverse sweep, and then we had a reverse sweep in semis.
Yeah. Yeah, that does sound right to me. And yeah, I think we're close here to starting this next set of pick ban.
Yep, and we're just letting in now. Let's get into it. Potentially the last game of this semifinals, best of 5, and then straight into finals. But we'll see if Long Beach can make a stand here with their new player.
Yeah, will Long Beach make a stand, make this a match, make us go to 4? Or will Penn State cruise on to play Nebraska in the next match tonight? We'll see very shortly. And I'm really hoping that Long Beach will decide, hey, let's change things up a little bit, let's.
They did change their bans for the previous game, but they didn't change them in a way that I liked. So we will see what happens here with this. I just don't want to see the Ultron ban.
Yeah. There we go. Maybe.
They're hovering. No. They're going
No.
back Ultron. No.
No.
They were hovering 2 other tanks.
Oh.
They really do not want to play against this Ultron. They'd really. I wonder if it's a league they play in. Maybe there's some team that just runs with Ultron, or they had a bad experience in scrims, but it's just not a champion that a lot of people value as this first ban. And you can see immediately the mag protect on the side of PSU. This is one of their favorite champions that's super comfortable for both tanks. I do like the Emma change up though.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that you want to see, is obviously get one of the top tanks out. We've been talking about that for a minute, but
Jeff,
what?
I'm not gonna get baited.
We're not getting baited here.
Black Panther? That's more fun.
Wait.
I'm not gonna get baited once. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Not gonna get baited.
All right.
What I am noticing is Cornmonk 3 happens to be a Lord Thor player. And one thing Thor absolutely does not want to play into is Emma. So I wonder if that early Emma ban switch up is signifying we're just going to walk out with Thor and see what happens. You can see the Fantastic ban as well. This is definitely a target ban at Mashy.
Yeah, so this is... Do you think this is really going to be a... they walk in with Thor, and do you think Penn State tries to ban Thor? Do you think Penn State just stays standard and lets Thor through?
I don't see any world where you ban Thor. Also, I don't see a world where you ban Fantastic either, though. So maybe they do want to hit these targets a little bit more. You see the Iron Man ban as well. It looks like a missed ban from PSU. Normally teams will honor that, but they're not required to, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm just waiting on the protect here. Doctor Strange, Captain America. Yeah, I'm not looking at their hovers anymore. All right, they're too fun with it. Strange.
They're too fun with it.
they've done the Strange Protect every single game. I think it just must be a comfort champion for one of the things. I do like the Emma ban if you're going to play Strange, because it's just such a hard champion to play into.
Yeah.
And it looks like
And
the Wolf Groot.
Yep.
Groot is not as good on this map as he is on Araco, but he is still a solid tank. So this is a Groot. Used to be one trick, but I like to think not anymore.
I'm glad you like the thing not anymore.
Heroes can make all
The Namor ban comes through. He only has 10 more hours than Strange, so I'm caught up with Strange and Emma.
Okay.
And it looks like the Namor ban looks like maybe they want to run some sort of dive, or maybe they were afraid of Hulk Namor. It looks like they are running full dive, so that would explain that ban.
Huh.
And you see, Venom Spider-Man does not have the team up anymore, but it is still a composition that is ran specifically in Asia. A lot of teams are running Venom with other dive, especially on this map. A little bit in NA, a little bit in EU, but it's not nearly as popular. So I'm curious to see how it works out here. However, they're doing it on defense.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
That's actually, yeah, I didn't even realize that Penn State let Long Beach start on defense.
Yeah, it's kind of just preference. This is not a map that has a super difficult attack, especially on this first point. It's probably the easiest of the hybrids to actually take. But you can see the comp from Long Beach. They've decided they no longer want to play the meta, and they're, I'm assuming, just playing full comfort here, because this is not a composition you would really see in any sort of meta play. But PSU is also responding in kind with Mantis Rocket heals and a Squirrel Girl. Spider-Man looking for the ball on the map, does not hit it. So an early portal is going to be successful. This is an interesting composition from PSU I've not seen before. They're back on the Moon Knight. And you see, okay, so this turret was put up really high so that the portal was so that the turret can just rain down for free. As Punisher, or actually Black Panther and Strange just 1v1 on the point for a bit. Black Panther is going to die to the cloak. And I don't necessarily know where Long Beach is. They're just not on the point. Black Panther is rezzed, but Cornmont goes down.
What?
I'm not sure where they are. BP is back after the rocket res, but already down to half HP again. Just looking to get a little bit of damage. The Tickle Monster himself is going to fall down, and that's point captured. They kind of just weren't contested on that.
No, they pressed up too far and too high, I think is the main thing. It's so...
Well, they knew the portal was coming too because the Spider-Man saw it. So I think they just committed too hard to trying to hit these dives, and a late death on the rocket means a lot of free push. This is a scary spot now for Long Beach, who just immediately lost probably the best defensive spot on the map.
Yeah, that's not ideal. I'm not entirely sure what their thought process was on the dash, on like a dash through that portal.
Venom just jumps to the 5, immediately goes down, doesn't even get the chance to get the E off. Spider-Man looking to contest this high ground, but it's going to be really difficult with the Strange up there just protecting the Loki and just kind of force off to go look for other angles. Already halfway to this point with 5 minutes remaining on the clock. This is a really insane push for the side of PSU. Spider-Man goes down as well. The Strange was standing up there protecting those DPS, make it so hard, and the res was canceled. Both supports are down to 1 HP now, just have to protect each other, so the front line's vulnerable. And we see in response, Mashy dies. Thor trying his best to get these people off as well, but he's going to go down. 2 miles of lag on the Loki, followed quickly by Cloak going down as well. Rocket surely soon to follow. Yep, their aim is on point, and we have 6 minutes to capture this last point. That might be the biggest number I've ever seen in this game.
No. They've not been stopped since this has started. I don't think it's hardly been contested.
Yeah, and even look at the ultimate economies coming up. That's so hard.
Yeah, Long Beach is playing so spread that any sort of composition that they have just it doesn't really mean anything right now.
Do it. Be a man. Does not send it. Does not send it. He's gonna get 2 kills though, and Venom is now walled in as well. He's gonna fall. You see Magma Bacon. They're looking for it. Does hit the ultimate onto 3 people, I believe it is, and immediately Moon Knight falls up as well, and everyone's dead. Important to note, the cart has still not stopped.
It's been a free ride. I think Loki's just sat on cart, chilling.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say at this point. We have just every single ultimate in the game getting brought out now just to finish up the map. Good tracking from Wolf CQ to hit the dastardly Spider-Man. And Cloak going in is going to be able to touch with the ultimate as it ends, but a big ultimate from Strange stuns 2. maybe ultimates in response. You see the Venomol and the Rocket all come through, try and one-shot, but does not get it. One body advantage for the side of PSU. Amplifier comes out now. This is the longest they've held the cart so far this game, but quickly Venom's gonna die to the enhanced shotgun. Someone's on cart. I can't quite see who. It looks like it is.
Yeah.
Brandon's getting very low. Oh, quick actually, 2 kills come through the side of Long Beach. They are going to hold the fight maybe. Tremble before Bass comes through as well. And yeah, that's another kill. It looks like they were able to hold this. It will not be a flawless game for PSU. Quickly though, Spider-Man is killed in response, but Dexwo on the strange goes down as well. So now, Long Beach have a chance to stabilize.
There are over 4 minutes left, but Long Beach has a shot here.
I'm trying to help.
They have Strange ult coming up, and Rocket is relatively close. The rest have some way to go, and Penn State's definitely closer to a lot of their ults. But
what is scary?
Long Beach right here.
Oh, they're doing the portal play again. Here goes. Will they melt someone? What's scary is that this Moon Knight group combo is coming up, and there's nowhere close on the one support ult that could help, because Rocket will just lose his ult if he tries.
Yeah.
You can see that Strange is alone on point with the support from up high.
You see Punisher roll coming through too.
Yeah, and Iavon Loda comes out and does not connect. Oh, it actually does get one, and they are killed, so it's a 1-for-1 with the support down. And actually kills them back to the side of Long Beach. It looks like a 1-5 for them. They're stabilizing, they're doing it. Oh my god, Moon Knight all comes out for nothing. That's a really big burn. PSU might be a little unfocused because of how the early game went, but Prideful just wasted the Moon Knight ultimate with Groot combo up. They are going to swap to the Magic, but even then, even if you wanted to swap, I think you just hold that for another fight, because that is probably the best ultimate combo, one of the best ultimate combos in the game.
Yeah, and I understand maybe wanting to switch to a Magic for this, but burning an ult like that is just not.
Magma's fishing. Just looking for an ultimate. Venom's gonna jump onto the back line. Does burn totems, but instantly dies to the Punisher. That's a body advantage for PSU as they walk out here. Just looking for this Groot ultimate. He just wants to find 1 or 2 supports. That's all you need from Magma. Comes out. I believe they hit both supports, and they're both dead. Monk is able to kill in return, and Crispy is res, so support is back. But it's a really big body advantage for PSU. Monk just trying to survive off the point. Yeah, but Cobalt comes out a little bit late, so Monk does fall, but that is going to stall. Servos is back on the Venom, and Cobalt is in response to PSU. Venomol is not able to kill anyone with Dallas and Hands. Bass comes out. Massive Eye of Agamotto is going to help everyone. Dexwo going to take down 4 people with that ultimate. Lokiel comes out as well for PSU just to seal the deal. They have to deal with this Venom, taking a little bit longer than you would hope, but is going to die, followed by the Black Panther. And for real this time should be captured.
For realsies, this should be captured within 2 meters.
No take, Max. No take. There we go.
You know,
I will
that was
say,
actually
with 6 minutes on the final point, getting them down to 156 is an absolute win, and your comp is much better on attack, right? I'm assuming they're going to walk out with this exact same composition if they're going to run it on defense, and it is significantly better as an attacking composition.
Yeah, that was actually an impressive hold at the end to make it a realistic tiebreaker time. You know, a beatable time.
Yeah, honestly, I was a little bit checked out that the game might be ending there, but it was a really good recovery, and it's winnable now. It's in a decent state. Obviously, 2 minutes is a little bit more than you would hope for, but it is definitely a winnable game.
Absolutely. This is hope that you need on the side of Long Beach. This is, I mean, that was an amazing hold. And, I mean, take that momentum, take it, and just run with it. You had a great comp. I mean, I don't know if the Jeff is ideal, but
I don't imagine I'm going to walk out with it. One important thing to note is PSU know they're running dive and they've set up for it. They are running the Penny Rocket combo, which is a really hard thing to play dive into with the double mines, as well as Prideful on the Torch. He doesn't have the Invis team up, so that is nice, but the only person on Long Beach that can realistically deal with him is Spider-Man, and Torch is probably the hardest flyer for Spider-Man to deal with.
2, 1.
They're gonna walk out of the chest, maybe?
The mission area.
No, in this. Okay. An early portal play as well, so they're trying to take a book out of page out of PSU's book. Oh, they're counter portaling.
Oh,
they're counter portaling. They're gonna drop it right in front of this portal, I would imagine.
Yeah. Counter portal.
Yep, there it is. So yeah, they heard the portal. What they did is immediately they just placed it in front and placed it off the map, and that is so sad for the side of Long Beach. Once you see the portaling, you have to know that's coming and be ready for it. But Dex will also take on Crispy at the end there. A really good play, and he should have. Oh wait. What? Mashi just jumps through. I think he might have thought that was his own portal. Dexlo now at 70% ultimate on the Strange from killing 4 people.
Oh,
Spider-Man's fishing. He's gonna jump onto the Johnny. Maybe gets a kill here, but no, forced out. It was a good attempt, got half of his HP. But like I said, Johnny is pretty hard for Spider-Man as far as flyers go. And I'd imagine Dexlo, Strange being the first person to get ultimate is kind of crazy. Johnny's in a weird spot now, but the Venom just gets melted by this pocket Punisher that the Johnny has.
Yeah.
See Penny. Yeah, I mean, Strange is just in kind of no man's land alone here. He has no follow-up from his team. Penny's just going to walk him down, as well as the fight going on the other side of the point. Cornmark does go down now. You can see Dive attempting onto the supports, but they're just kiting it so well. Punisher Shotgun is out onto the Venom. No E is left, which is his overshield. And there's even a res for Rocket. Judge Jury Executioner comes out to just try and clean up the fight. See Spider-Man going to see if he can hit the tracking. Can't quite do it. So Spider-Man is able to get out. Maybe no one dies to this. It does alleviate some pressure, but no one dies.
I think it's a valid time for an ult, but it was great awareness from Long Beach to say, all right, let's just avoid it. Let's not die. Let's not die to this, and let's not stagger.
Yeah, and I think
we see the Jeff.
Cornmark is also up again, still kind of ahead of his team. Venom jumps in onto the mines, onto this Punisher, trying to kill, but he's melted by the mines, already down to 1 HP, has to pop the shield, and gets stunned as well. You just can't jump onto these with this composition, you have to change something up. Tremble before he actually Black Panther gets stunned out of his ultimate. Spider-Man's gonna ult as well and take down 1 support, but I believe they will just res up. No, the beacon was broken. Rocket Ult is in response though. You see Spider-Man just looking for a re-engage. Eye of Agamotto comes out from Dexpo, is gonna hit onto 1 and immediately kill him on the 2 actually, and both are dead. You see the Strange falling shortly after, the Venom trying to stabilize something, but is now just alone and maybe dies himself. Spider-Man is instead gonna fall. Black Panther on 1 HP is able to escape. So you see 4 ultimates for Long Beach.
I'm opening a portal.
This is going to be this is the fight you have to win if you're Long Beach. You have to get out of this first point. No,
we're doing it again. We're doing it again. He's going to try and get someone. He's going to try and get someone.
No.
This is just silly. He's just having fun now. He's just having fun. He wants to get him.
Oh, God.
He's going for it. Does the Strange jump through? Does not get it. That's not the most efficient use of a portal, but he's having a little bit of fun maybe at this point. Got 4 kills last time, but only 1 ultimate, 4 PSU, and almost 5 inside of Long Beach. This should be a fight they can win if they just dump ultimates. You see Wolf Q about to have the Punisher ult though. Spider-Man's alone next to the mines. He's able to get out. The supports are so alone in this tunnel. Johnny's probably not going to let him walk in. Ashley actually falls early instead of the supports. You see Cloak ult to get out. Judge Jury Executioner though, both Cloak ults. This is a really good spot for PSU. Big Jeff ult, but he's just going to die to Punisher. Punisher is CC immune inside of his ultimate, so he just burns him immediately. Followed by Venom, followed by Strange, followed by Cloak. And I think that's game. You see Jeff tried to eat him, but it's just CC immune.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Long Beach really just needs to play more together. I think that's when they play best, is when they're together. When you saw them in a tight space, they were able to really hold their own in fights and at least delay the end of the fight going against them, if not win the fight. When they're actually playing together, it works. But
they're playing,
they're
playing very split into a hard counter composition, right? This is a point where I think you need to just swap immediately when it's not working. But also, if you are going to stay on it, it has to be so coordinated. You have to have someone whose job it is to take out those nests. But it was their first time in Fight Night. I think every team, barring the first week, where it was everyone's first game, a new team has struggled a lot in Fight Night because you're kind of learning the tempo of things, learning the meta. So it's kind of understandable. We'll see how they do next time they're here, but no sweat, really.
Yeah, really. Honestly, I love that they decided to sign up and play. It's great. And honestly, I thought they put up a great fight against Penn State, who is a seasoned vet of Fight Night, especially now. And I gotta commend Long Beach for playing. And yeah, I guess just there's a lot of room to grow, obviously, but there's always room to grow. There's always things to improve. And, great lessons have been learned today. And I mean, playing competitive is so much different from scrimming. I'm sure this was huge. So obviously, like all the commendations to them possible. Great effort.
Next up is going to be PSU versus myself on Nebraska. So we are going to change up casters as I have to go into the game. But it was great casting with you. It was a good, fun series to watch. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next game. And whoever our casters will also see you, because it won't be me.
Yeah, totally unbiased. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll send it to a quick break.